Alright, hello, welcome to today's project update. Now this will be update number 10 for the Polish 1st Armoured Division, and I got 10th Dragoons done. All original 18 models I had set aside are built from the first kit, plus the 7 I recently got as a gift from one of my gaming friends. And as far as being done, essentially they're completely painted, highlighted, detailed out, and bases are completely done. The only thing I have not done is the shoulder decals, which is just basically the red stripe and a red crescent over the top of the shoulder, and the any shoulder badge. Right now there are no decals for that, so I'm kind of waiting to hear if Warlord Games is going to do anything with the Polish 1st Armoured Division decals. Otherwise, I'm searching around trying to find suitable infantry decals for those shoulders. But let's take a look. I did a lot of research into the terrain that the 1st Polish Armoured Division fought in shortly after Normandy. Essentially, northern France is really where it was, toward the Belgian border. And what I decided to do was stick with the type of terrain, type of ground, or a base that represents that terrain. So, in the case of the Polish, or the Dragoons, they would be mounted in, usually mounted in the M5 half-tracks, and moving forward with the, usually, armored support. Sometimes they would go with the mounted rifles, which was the Recce tank regiment. Sometimes they supported one of the other regular Sherman tank regiments. In any event, they were really going across, open ground. Even in Bocage country, the terrain was, or I should say, the foliage, the vegetation was relatively low. Here, I'll go ahead and put a couple pictures in to show you how low the grasses were compared to some other places around the world. So as you see, it really didn't need to be tall, but it needed to be present, and it wasn't bare ground or rocky ground, all that kind of stuff. Like if it were Italy, you'd have more rock and sand and gravel and brush mixed in. Here it's pretty much just grass. So just going to go ahead and show you real quick how it was done. Alright, so there is the first so it's the sergeant for the platoon. Now one thing I did forget, I noticed that I missed the khaki strap on his helmet, so that's one thing I'll have to do real quick. Okay, so here's just a very simple approach to basing, but it gets the job done very, very well. Now this is Gamers Grass. They've got a Facebook page. You can find it in a couple different online stores. I use 2 different sizes. In this, yeah, perfect. Okay, you can see the segment to the right. This is all the 6mm grass, and this is their 4mm. Now I chose the different heights just to give some variation, even though it's subtle. It is apparent to the eyes. In addition, I liked the light green color. It matched very well with the grasses or the base turf that I have, and what I've seen in color pictures of that region in northern France. So I figured that was a good mix. So it was simply a matter of laying down the white glue, putting on the turf. Now the turf is actually a mix of really leftovers. There's a base green, these are Woodland Scenics foams. Base green, I think it's just medium green. These are fine coarse foam, fine ground foam. They call it turf in their Woodland Scenics line. But I do have some mixed in with some of the darker green mixed in, just as leftovers from other basing projects, and this is just kind of accumulated this mix. In addition, as I did some basing with some natural clay around here, I've incorporated some of that into the mix, and so that's why you've got a little bit of the clay showing through a little bit there, such as right there. Okay, it just breaks up the color a little bit, and I think it's adds some visual interest, so it's not just a base, just a plain green across the base. So the entire platoon has been done exactly like this. So there really isn't a whole lot more to tell about it, because that's as far as I needed to go. But again, now that's all that's left is the 8th rifles. Again, they are just based. It's the only thing that needs to be done is the basing on there. So that's the difference. I'm looking forward to getting those guys done, but I tell you, it took a little longer than I expected, trying to put all that tuft grass on there. So, figure another couple weeks in the, because I've got so many other projects going on concurrently, as you've seen from the recent update videos. But at least these will get done, and I'll be actually adding to them, hopefully come March. Right now, my focus is on finishing out the 8th rifles that's 17 or 19, almost 20 models there that I have to finish out. Again, just basing. But the bases are going to be a little different there. I'm going more for a brush or woodland area because I just want something visually different. And a lot of the terrain that the division did fight through and the 8th rifles did fight through were some of the forested areas. So there would be trenches and there would be brush and moss and all these kind of things. So there's a similar approach to the base, but slightly different look. Well, pretty significantly different look. So you'll see that in the next update number 11. Aside from that, that should be the end of the initial project for the 8th Rifles and 10th Dragoons. But I'm still trying to grow my army, so I've got a 6-pounder, I got some engineers, and I got some additional Piat mortar teams that I got given. So those will kind of round out. I don't know that I'll do any particular videos on those particular guys, but the Sherman tank is the one that I'll be focusing on as far as videos in the future. So thanks for sticking with me on this project. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.